partners, or rather, there was 3 business partners in total, and we each started the business with $500, which we used to renovate a small storefront on Bernard Street in Myland. Back then, Myland was very fun to be in, but not much in terms of a shopping destination. And we had seen that there was a lot of people coming to the area that were interested in the type of thing that was being made in the area, clothing, artisanal things, and just wanting to kind of participate in the vibe of the place, but there was no place to actually go and buy anything or bring anything home from. So we thought, well, we'll start a little shop.
Preservation Society. We make jams, marmalades, pickles, anything you can put in a jar, essentially, and I also teach canning workshops. 2 classes a month. I ship all over Canada. I'm in a lot of stores in Quebec and starting to branch out into Ontario and Alberta and BC. Yeah, that's my business.
With CBC, it was very deadline oriented. It was 5 o'clock every day and handing the script, and I wasn't into living like that anymore. I was also very aware of other people around me, like Camilla that had started small businesses, and I realized they created a really great situation for themselves because they'd seen, interest in something they were interested in, and were able to grow that into something that they controlled and was in their vision, and they could then control what level of involvement they wanted to have in it once it had been grown and was self-propelling. So I thought wow, that's a great model. If you're going to put that kind of energy into a job, wouldn't it be nice if you could control how much investment you're going to put into it over time, or week by week, or month by month, even, so that you can have other priorities and do other things at the same time. Also, I saw people doing businesses, and I thought, gosh, I think, it's interesting because Camilla is a talented pastry chef, or a talented chef, or cooker, maker, and that I'm not a maker in my business. I'm a finder, seeker, organizer, and it's a different model. And I remember thinking, gosh, I wish I just made something that I could then sell. Wouldn't that be great if I could do something really well that people needed? And I didn't, and I couldn't. So I found a different frame, which was, I wonder if I could do something or think about something in a way that somebody hasn't thought of yet, and I'll do that. And that's what I did. It's like vintage clothing.
In retrospect now, basically I was like, is anyone going to pay me to do what I want to do? No, so I guess all I'll have to do it myself was essentially. I went in with no business acumen whatsoever. And I don't really know how much I have now, though certainly more than when I started out. But I just wanted to do what I wanted to do, so I thought I'd try and do it myself for as long as I could.
People telling me that I was doing the wrong thing. But so the opposite of active adversaries. That's a dumb decision. Why are you doing that? Oh my God, really? You're leaving out for that? Huh.
You showed them.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, being somewhat butt-headed.
Yes. To be stubborn.
Yeah, I was stubborn for sure. But there was moments where there's 2 decisions, I remember them, where somebody who I trusted told me not to do something. I was like, oh, and for a moment I'm like, oh, you're right, that wasn't that decision. And in retrospect, it's like, oh, you were so wrong. They were wrong. Absolutely wrong. And I listened to them. So I guess on the other side of it, which is a lot of people have very straight, very narrow views of what you should do and how you should do it. And if you really take the time to think about what you're doing and look around you and see what's going on, you probably know what to do. Probably.
Yeah.